Welcome to Mom Matters. I'm your host, Alyssa Dver. In the next 10 easy-to-watch minutes, we're going to give you some really practical tips for more productive parenting. And along those lines, we have a great topic today. It's homework help. How do you productively help your child with their homework? And joining us is our terrific expert on anything academic and educational, Principal Robin Welch. He's the principal of Woodrow Wilson Elementary School in Framingham, Massachusetts, and he is a nationally recognized individual. He was a recipient of the 2005 National Association of Elementary School Principals and won the National Distinguished Principal Award, as well as the Massachusetts Elementary School Principals Association Thomas C. Passios Award. And I know you have a long, beautiful history of many, many accomplishments, and just so grateful that you're with us. So thank you.
Thank you. It's my pleasure.
Homework help.
Homework. The bane of existence for parents and teachers.
Well, let's talk about a parent or a caregiver's role. Your child comes home from school, backpack with information about what they need to do. What's the role of the parent in getting it done?
The major role, from my opinion, is that the parent serves as a support, but not as a doer. Basically, make sure that your child has got a homework routine. Certain time, certain area, all materials that he or she may need is in place. You kind of encourage that child to go to that spot and do the work. If your child has questions, you can ask, that child can ask mom, dad, whoever for some assistance and some help. But the parent should never, ever, ever do the homework for the child. And the main reason why that is because teachers use homework as a barometer of understanding. So if the parent does the homework, the kid brings it to school the next day and it's all fine, the teacher might not know that that child really doesn't understand those concepts.
Right, it catches up eventually. So, one of the things, I live with an elementary school teacher, my husband, and, it's very easy for him sometimes to help my 8-year-old son with his homework. He knows the material. I'm still trying to keep up, but I assume as he gets more advanced in different subjects, whether it be history or math, I'm not going to know everything. So how do you, as a parent, do you answer the question, or you try to, or do you direct them to the internet? What do you do when you don't know the answers?
Well, the days of parents knowing all the answers have changed. That's primarily because curriculum has changed. And you will find that as things progress and grow, many parents are less able or less knowledgeable about X, Y, and Z. So in those cases, if your child needs some help and you can help that child, then do so. But if you find that you do not have information, it's totally fine to say I don't have the information. And if this information is going to impede your child being able to get the homework done in time for the teacher, it's always easy to write a little note to the teacher and say, Johnny and I worked on this. We really didn't understand what to do, so we're asking for some additional help from you, the teacher in school. And that is totally fine. The thing about going to the internet, there's a lot of suggestions, there's a lot of information out there, but you got to be careful in regards to what it is that you read, what you hear, because there's no one censoring information on the internet. So anybody can post anything at any time. So if you're looking for information about the Aztec Indians, you can read any number of things, but you don't know whether any of them are really actual factual or truth.
Yeah, that's a good perspective. And we've talked in the past about parent-teacher conferences too, so I assume you can use those conversations with the teacher too to also ask their opinion on how you can best help your student in their particular situation.
Absolutely. Sometimes what a school will do is provide information to a parent about the stuff that the school is going to be teaching their students. For example, in our building, we have a math loan library where we give the parents a math book in grades 3, 4, and 5 that they have as reference material when their kids come home. So if they want to do a little personal research on it, then they can do that. So a lot of schools will make it easier. Nobody wants to see homework be the thing that the straw that breaks the camel's back. Yeah. We want the school and the homework can handle.
Excellent. Okay. Well, we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to talk to Robin both as an educator and as a parent on how do you manage your child if they don't want to do their homework. We'll be right back. Hi, this is Alyssa Dver, the host from Mom Matters. I wanted to tell you about this really excellent resource for parents. It's called Parents for Parents magazine, and it's really unique for two reasons. First, it's the only magazine I know of that focuses on one parenting topic per issue. So it gets really deep in the topics, and all the articles are written for parents by parents. I highly recommend it. Check it out at www.parentsforparentsmag.com. Welcome back. We're here with Principal Robin Welch talking about helping your children with their homework. So, other than bringing out the whip, the bribes, all the negative reinforcement, if your child literally says, Mom, I don't want to do the homework, or says, Mom, leave me alone, I don't want you helping me do my homework, what's the best advice?
Well, there's two different circumstances there. If the child says, leave me alone, I don't want your help, you have to do that. Leave the child to struggle on his or her own, and they will find a way to either make it work, or they will understand why they do need the assistance. If you have a child who's very resistant to doing the homework, then you've got to figure out a way to make it work. With my children and the children in the building, I basically boil it down to, it's a job. My job as the principal in this building is to make sure teachers do what they have to do. The teacher's job in this building is to make sure they teach kids everything they can, help them be smarter. The student's job is to learn. This is what you are here for. You are here to learn, and that does include learning at home. Okay. So it's kind of like a responsibility. Everybody has a particular job they must do, and this is your job. Sometimes you need a little extra bribing. Sometimes you might need a little extra prompting. Sometimes you need a little extra something. For example, with my children, I have 3 children. One of them would have to come home and kind of de-school brief for a while. Go to his room, read a comic book, bounce the ball or something. Just kind of de-escalate from school day and then get back into the schooling. Whereas I had another daughter who would come home and part of the routine, come home, grab a glass of milk, a cookie, and get right into work. Yeah. So you got to figure out what works best for your student. If you find the child to be very resistant, though, that's when you need to definitely have a conversation with the school and the teacher and create a plan, an action plan that works for both the home and the school. And it's important that the communication is big at that time too, so that the school recognizes that you are struggling with your child at home, or so that the parent recognizes that X, Y, and Z, these strategies have been effective in school. Maybe they can be as effective at home as well.
Oh, good tip on that. And speaking of tips, you mentioned earlier a good homework environment. Mm-hmm. What makes a good homework environment?
Well, a good homework environment varies for a lot of people. For example, I'm a principal. With the exception of right now, my radio is always on. Because I work with the visual, with the auditory stimulus. I like music. There are some that would be a distraction. So it all depends on the student. But what I would suggest, though, as basic things that every homework environment should have is a quiet place to work. Okay. A place that's free of distractions. If there are siblings around that are younger or older, maybe they can be removed from that area. Definitely, if a child has auditory issues and easily distractible, no TV, no radio, none of the games. Move it into a quiet space. And it should be done as a routine, so that you know that at this place, this is what we do. We don't play games here. We don't play cards here. We don't play with our Game Boy here. When we're in this space, we're here to work. And we're here to work for half an hour, 15 minutes, whatever it may be. So once that routine gets established, and we know that all the materials are there, everything the child might need is there, a glass of milk, a cookie or something, it sets a tone, and that sets a whole different attitude towards getting that particular task done.
Yeah, that sounds, well, we go to special places to do our work. It's right. Just part of the way we operate as humans. So all good information, great tips, and I appreciate that. Sometimes it's really hard to know how you can best help your own child.
Yes, it is.
So anyway, I want to thank you once again for being here. Always a pleasure.
Goes two ways. I appreciate your asking.
Thank you so much. I want to thank our viewers for joining us today, and again, remind them about our website, www.mom-matters.com. You have all the information on our previous shows there, as well as information on upcoming shows. So for Mom Matters today, this is Alyssa Dver. We're giving you practical tips for more productive parenting.